Okay, I am live. This is the first. Welcome, warriors, to the U movement. I am B, and this is my first ever live recording on anything. I did like a 1 minute trial on Facebook a while back, and that was not good. So, welcome. I see that I have one viewer. This is fantastic. I just got a text from a friend saying that she would join as soon as she could. She's just getting her oil changed in her car. We got two. Welcome. I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me. I don't know how the chat works. Can somebody send me a message and just see if I see something? Because I don't see anything as of yet. So while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to burn some sage and clear the energy. I've pulled some cards, some decks for us, some of my favorite decks. So let's, nice. I hope you can hear me. I'm assuming you can hear me. Let's clear the energy. Clear the energy, clear. Yes, I'm assuming I have sound. I don't see a chat thing popping up. So if somebody can let me know if there's a sound coming in, there we go. Hey, yay, we've got sound. Woohoo! Because somebody's hearing me, I'm assuming. So we're going to start and jump right in today to the Starseed Oracle deck. And I have a lovely piece of amethyst here to keep this deck nice and warm. And so many light workers resonate with the term starseed, and starseeds are those souls that have volunteered and come from other realms. Whoa, see, this is what happens when we do a live, is we get cards being flung all over the place. I'm going to take them. Since the universe threw these two cards out, I'm going to take both of them for our starseeds and light workers out there. Okay. Our first two cards up are Lost Lands, and You Got the Love. Ooh, well, I like that one. Let's start with Lost Lands. I'm going to give you a little look here. Try to see it without a reflection. I have lights on me. So you can see here, it's a very beautiful scape. We have, it's almost Atlantean, the vibe here. Well, Lost Lands, that would make sense. A very underwater-esque scene, some tall pillars, reaching back to like ruins of a time long gone. So it's reminding me very much of all our connections as starseeds, as light workers, to the ancestral realm, the gifts that are bestowed us by our ancestors. We're not just limited by this one little life. And sometimes it feels like, this life is just too much, too crazy, and I can't do it. I'm all alone. But you're really not all alone. You're very much supported on this path through spirit, through God, through Buddha, through whomever you want to connect with, but also through your own lineage, your own memory. Unfortunately, that memory hits a reset button when we get born, and we kind of forget who we are, where we came from, where are we going, why are we, what's happening? An overwhelming sensation that's coming through. So the Lost Lands card says, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. So when we get back into a state of stillness, and you can sit in meditation to do this and ask your higher sources can you connect me to some of my gifts that I knew as a past life? Because those gifts are brought forefront. You can see them often. One thing that I absolutely love watching is all those kids that go on America's Got Talent or those types of shows, and they stand up on stage and they belt out a song like Janis Joplin would have in the day, and they're only like 8 years old, and you're like, how did they have that gift? And that's because that has been passed down from previous lives, gifts that we've carried with us. So things that just naturally feel comfortable for us and naturally feel at ease for us are gifts that we have carried with us into this lifetime. And oftentimes in children, you can just see, wow, they have a magical moment. So what this card is talking to me is saying, I want you to sit in stillness for a little bit and connect with some of those memories and some of those gifts that have been bestowed upon you from previous lifetimes. What is it that you're here to do? A lot of people are on a quest, especially those that are light workers and twin flames and starseeds and empaths. What's my purpose here on life? Only you know the answer to that question, and is sitting in stillness so that you can connect into what are my gifts? What are my skill sets? What am I naturally inclined to do? And you'll know that it is something that is right for you when the vibrational frequency feels, oh yeah, this feels good. This feels good. This feels familiar. This feels ease. If it feels awkward and uncomfortable and frustrating, that could be your nerves, but beyond that, it may not be what's resonating. And so oftentimes we get into a life situation where we're forcing ourselves to go down a path that isn't for us, that isn't resonating in our energy. It's not what we're meant to be doing. And what we're meant to be doing, if we can jump the divide, jump over the egoic patterns and programmings that our parents and our society and everybody else has placed in us that says, you really should not do that, and think about a backup plan, and think about your savings plan and your retirement plan and your this plan and that plan, when your soul is like, I don't want a plan. I want to dance. I want to sing. I want to do art. I want to heal. I want to help. I want to volunteer. So all of those things inside of us, those natural gifts, those natural talents that shine through, that's when your light emanates the most, is when you're in those gifts, in those energies of what is your truth and your purpose that has been passed down from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. So the next card up, we have You Got the Love. And we've got a mishmash of faces in here, all kind of melded in together, which talks a lot to me about enmeshment. So it says Hadrian energy, codependency, and boundaries. Well, I know a lot about codependency because I've spent most of my life in codependent energy. And when you've been raised by a narcissist in a household where you have to negate your own sense of self to be somebody else's image of what they are trying to create, it's like you become enmeshed into them. So coming back to these lost lands, are you living your life, or are you living somebody else's life? Are you living according to the indoctrination that you received as a child that said, I don't think that I can be me, because anytime I be me, I'm told to be quiet, or anytime that I'm me, I'm told to hush it up, or anytime that I'm me, I get punished. I get punished. Oh, look, that's what happens with a lot of children, poor children that have ADHD. And, a lot of us may have had certain conditions of the spectrum, being light workers, before we even knew what the spectrum was, before we even had names like ADHD and autism and things like that back in the 70s and the 80s. And we were told, no, you need to conform. You need to be the way that I want you to be. I need you to be structured within that energy. And so you become a people pleaser. You become a fawner. You become somebody that's going to negate self. And what these two cards in combination are saying is, it's no longer time to negate self. It's time to unmesh ourselves from other people's expectations and be ourselves, be our truth, be our one and only authentic, with all the gifts that we have been bestowed, and utilize those gifts that we have to the absolute fullest in these lost lands. So what are the lost aspects of self that you have deprived yourself, deprived the world of, negated, repressed, shushed down? We're not going to talk about that stuff. I talk a lot of it in my own journey, how coming out of the spiritual closet and doing something like a live oracle read was very much lost lands. It was not something that I would have been comfortable doing in that codependent energy, because I would have been ridiculed and made fun of for doing such things. This would have been hocus pocus and woo woo and not acceptable. So If you are still sitting in an energy of trying to enmesh yourself into others' expectations, now is the time to let go of that and return to that true self within. I'm going to hop up next into some Adventurine and the chakra deck and see what our chakras are screaming at us to say today. I had a beautiful breath work yesterday, and if you guys haven't joined the breath work group, it's over there on the Spiritual Warriors group on Facebook. And in there, I have a chat going so we can chat beforehand. And then each day of the week, I have 7 different breath works set up. And yesterday, we did the third eye. Or was that today? See, I can't even remember. And that was a wonderful opening clearing. And we've got 2 coming out. Ooh, we've got the power of prayer and recovery. Okay, so power of prayer. Right away, we can see on this card, we've got some lemons, which is very much when life hands you lemons, let's make some lemonade. And you can see through the background, it's kind of dreaming of the where is the grass greener kind of vibe happening and connecting into a dreamscape. In comparison, it's split in 2. We can see one side is following the path over here, following the path that leads us on that rat race. Go to school, get a degree, get a job, get married, have kids, 2.5, have a dog, have a cat, do all these things, make your retirement plan, do all these things. So we've got the matrix happening over here. And on this side, we've got the grass is greener and a little bit more freedom happening, connecting to these energies over here that's saying, but what is it that you are naturally drawn towards? So this could represent a dichotomy. Again, we were talking about these 2 cards. It ties all in. A dichotomy between the life that you were meant for and the life that you are currently living. And when you have your awakening that begins, spirit comes along and goes and hits you overhead with a fry pan and says, you're on the wrong path. You got to go over here. And ego's like, but I don't want to. These are lemons. This is bitter. I don't want to. I don't want to. And spirit will say, no choice given. This is the way you're going to be moving. We're going to move you closer into your own natural sense of self. And through this process, I can guarantee a lot of power of prayer is most beneficial. I have utilized prayer throughout my spiritual awakening, and I highly recommend that you do too. And I want to do a note on this because in between these 2 places is not something that a lot of people talk about. People talk about, okay, yes, this is the life that I'm living. I'm unsatisfied. There's problems. There's conflict. There's frustrations. There's fear. There's anxiety. And I want this over here. I really want this. But how do I go in there and get it? And there is a big, long path in between here and there. And in that in-between place is known as the void. And it is an isolating, lonely, difficult, arduous journey between these 2 places. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that I have to let go is the first step. And letting go in itself is exceptionally hard because we hold on to things for safety and security, no different than we as a child held on to a security blanket or a stuffed animal and we know our soothers. And we hold on to our parents, we hold on to our friends, we hold on to relationships, we hold on to jobs because they provide us, or more to the point, they provide our ego, not us, but our ego with a sense of security, even though it's a false one. And that false sense of security is far greater in making us feel secure than the fear of the unknown. Because it's like, well, I dreamed this could be a thing, but could it? What if it doesn't happen? What if this? What if that? And then fear kicks in and we're like, no. So while you're going through the in-between, it is a constant process of surrendering, more letting go, more letting go, more surrendering. And in that process, you can feel very isolated. So on a spiritual awakening, process that a lot of my followers are undergoing at the present moment in time, hermiting becomes a thing. Where did all my people go? Why am I on my own? Well, that is for a reason, because a caterpillar goes into its cocoon alone. It doesn't go in with all its friends. As much as it wants to, it has to go in alone. And it's within the aloneness, it's within the sitting within self, in silence, in meditation, in prayer, that you begin to connect with self and source. And source is connected from within. It's an inside job. It's not an outside job of going somewhere and finding the answers and somebody else is going to provide them for you from a pulpit or anywhere else. The answers that you seek are all within you. So the more you can practice silent prayer or silent meditation or mindfulness or connecting through a yogic practice, aligned walking, anything like that, is allowing yourself to get comfortable in that void. Because in that void, what often happens is there feels like there's a disconnect between yourself and spirit all of a sudden goes silent. And you're like, well, where did spirit go? Wait, where, what am I supposed to do now? I'm not getting instructions. What happened to my vision? I'm all alone. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm confused. I'm isolated. Wait it out. Be in peace with the not knowing is the mission, and being in peace with patience. And trust me, that's not a necessarily easy task to do. I'm not saying any of this is easy. The awakening is not necessarily an easy path. There are no unicorns or rainbows that I have seen. I have seen a couple swans on the river, but I have not seen a single unicorn as of yet. So give yourself time, patience, and love. This is the you movement. We love ourselves, especially when you're in the void. And if you feel like you're in the void currently, where life is handing you a bunch of lemons and you're like, I don't know how to make lemonade. I don't have any sugar. This is going to taste bitter. I don't know what I'm doing. Just wait it out. Take your time and wait it out. It has been the message that I've been receiving from spirit day after day after day. I keep asking, what's next? And I get one answer. Wait. And I'm like, thanks. Why are we waiting? Because while we're in the cocoon, we are in a recovery stage. And a lot of people don't understand that while you're on the spiritual awakening path, what is happening is the energy is going up and through you and clearing out all of the crap. And that crap needs to clear out in so many ways it purges. I just did a video on this yesterday. If you didn't watch it, please do, because it's going to manifest. Recovery looks like illness. It's like one of those opposite situations where, hey, wait a second, I'm on a spiritual path now. I'm on a healing path now. Why am I getting sick all the time? One thing after another. I get the flu. I'm sneezing constantly. I've got a rash that's developing. What's happening? Why am I so dizzy? A lot of people have reported to me in the last 3 days. I've had multiple people say, I'm exceptionally dizzy right now. Well, imagine all that energy that's working its way through your body, trying to clear out all the traumas, all the stuff, all the things. And as it works its way up into your head, whoa, you're going to be dizzy. So for dizziness, get down on the ground. Outside is the best, barefoot if you have the chance. Otherwise, lie down on the ground in recovery position, which is flat on the ground with your legs elevated on a chair, on a couch. If you're in bed, the 3 pillows under your legs so that you get the flow of blood flow back into the heart. So you're realigning the energies. If you're feeling very dizzy, you want to get down and have your, even another yogic pose that you can do if you are more into yoga is to lie in a reverted bridge with a couple of blocks underneath your hips so that there is blood flow back into the head, because that energy is like clearing stuff out, clearing. And you can see on this picture here that we have a key. And as things get cleared out, each and every time you go through a process of clearing, And let's talk a little bit about emotional clearing for just a minute, because I know a lot of people are expressing emotional stuff right now. And when emotional stuff comes up, and I've done many videos on this in the past, what happens is you go back into child mind. So talk about dizzy, talk about sensations in the head. It's like all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm scared. I can't do anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm not happening, because you're back repeating the consciousness of that wounded child at an earlier age, when you weren't able to process through whatever the situation was, the wounding, the emotional trauma that was occurring to you at that particular age and stage of the game. And so when you get into that child mind of, it feels like eternity. And the reason why it feels like eternity is because that child has been trapped in eternity since the time that it happened. So no matter what age you are now, that's a long time for it to be trapped, that aspect of self to be trapped far away. But that child, the more you sit with that energy, the more you process through and allow the tears to flow. Allow the emotions to come out. Allow yourself to self-soothe and reparent and reprogram, and allow the shakes to happen if shakes are coming up with it, because energetically things are moving. And just like when a dog gets beaten, it shakes it off. It shakes. Any animal, once it's in a high conflict situation, shakes. So if you're going through a recovery situation right now where you are overwhelmed with stuff that's happening in your outside world, and you're trying to heal and you're trying to let go of things that are no longer working in your best interest, and you're wondering, why am I struggling? Why am I struggling? It's because you're in that cocoon, and in that cocoon, you're struggling. You're going to turn to goo before you turn into a butterfly. And so recovery is not pretty. It is not healing. It sounds like such a lovely word, but it is not pretty. It is full of tears. It is full of snot. It is full of sickness, as you have stuff being expressed and removed out of your body any which way that it can. But within each one of these retrievals of self, it's like you're going on a mission, a journey to retrieve lost aspects of yourself, your little wounded children. And each of those children is holding a gift. And you know what gift that they're holding? They're holding from back here. Those gifts that you have had locked away, from the Lost Lands one, all those gifts that I talked about, those natural intuitive knowings, those wonderful childlike gifts. Maybe it's comedy that has been tickling at you to get out onto the stage again, or try for the first time, try an improv group. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's bringing the world some wonderful creation that you do with your hands. But you were told, that little inner child was like, no, so you don't do it. That key, every time you do inner child work, every time you do shadow work, every time you do any form of healing work that involves a nice purge and release, you are going to be bestowed with all of the gifts that are lost to you. All of the gifts that you have forgotten about are going to come back into your level of awareness. And you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. That's so awesome. I love myself. Aha. Yes, you do. So let's hop next and get a message from the angels and see what the angelic realm has to say to us in regards to these cards here. Darn, it's buffering. Just read and then we've got one thrown up. Archangel Samuel. Well, I love this one in alignment with everything that's happening. Archangel Samuel is one of my favorite angels, and I pray to him routinely, especially for, as a side note, because he does work on the pink ray, which is unconditional love. But Archangel Samuel is also particularly good at finding lost things. So that ties into all those lost gifts, but even practical things. If you lose your keys or you lose your wallet and you're like, where is it? I don't know where it is. I want to find it. Send up a prayer to Archangel Samuel, because he's particularly adept at helping you locate where you misplaced that. And I am notorious for putting things in safe places and then never finding them again until I enlist the help of Archangel Samuel to come along to my aid and help me rediscover where that safe place was. So maybe Samuel is coming into this read is because he's wanting to help you rediscover all of the lost aspects of you, all the things inside you. And those are probably good things as well as shadowy type things. But the more we embrace both sides of ourselves, the shadow and the light, into one, into a coming together of wholeness, the more powerful we become. So let us read what Archangel Michael has to say. The writing is very tiny. Archangel Samuel works on the pink ray of love, and being blessed with this Archangel card indicates that you are ready to open your heart to unconditional love. Well, that is beautiful. Love has no restrictions and accepts all people as they are, nor does it judge. True love is so powerful that it dissolves hurt, anger, and separation. Let love flow from your heart and touch your loved ones, those you dislike as well, and strangers. This creates a bridge of light which the angels can move along to bring hope and peace. In return, your life will be blessed and filled with love. So the affirmation that goes along with this card is, my heart is filled with the flame of love. Let's say that together. My heart is filled with the flame of love. And I love how it says flame because that very much feels very twin flamey to me. And maybe you are on the twin flame journey, the twin flame situationship, as I like to call it. And what this is bringing up for me is when you have that soul recognition with your twin, what happens is you have a massive heart activation, a heart opening. And it's like all of a sudden your heart expands. You may go through a process after that, even of having chest pains and like anxiety and palpitations and what's happening? Am I having a heart attack? I don't know. Tightness, it might feel like that's happening in your chest. And what's going on is energetically, your heart is expanding and opening wider and wider and wider and wider, which is then moving up and activating what is not as familiarly known as your higher heart center. And from your higher heart center, you can have the capacity for unconditional love. So these are the teachings of Jesus, Mother Mary. Even I love Princess Diana once said, there's not much I can do in this world, but I can give love. And even if it's only 5 minutes, 10 minutes, for an hour, I have the capacity to give love. And I always thought, oh my God, that's just magical. She's such a magical, full of love, heart-centric, heart-focused. And so in the process of the twin flame journey is all about you. It's all about you learning to open that heart center as wide as it can be so that you can love not only yourself and fill your own cup first and heal and recover and do all the work that you need to do to bring all the lost aspects of self back into a place of love. But you can also extend that love outwards into the world, forgiving those that have harmed you, forgiving those that have, and when I say forgiving, that doesn't mean welcoming them back in. Forgiveness does not mean, here, come do it again. It just means, okay, I'm not holding on to anger and resentment. I'm letting the anger and resentment go. I understand that what you did to me came from a place of your own wounding and your own trauma. However, there is still a very large boundary to keep me safe because my love of self supersedes my forgiveness of you. So I forgive you. Now go over there and I'll forgive me over here, and we'll be at peace and love at a distance, because it does sometimes, separation is necessary for the healing path, especially on the twin flame journey, where you come together to trigger each other and then you run away from each other to heal, to recover, to do all that nasty work that you wouldn't want to do in front of somebody else, to be honest, anyways. So this heart-centered activation that comes along on this journey, on this spiritual awakening, and this is what's happening collectively. So I want you to understand that from a consciousness viewpoint, we have been in the energy of the solar plexus for over 2,000 years. And for over 2,000 years, we've been in the egoic idea of ego versus this narcissistic viewpoint. And narcissist even comes from the ancient tale of the Greek Narcissus, who would fall in love with himself in his own reflection in the water. And me, I'm so wonderful, I'm so beautiful. So we don't want to go to that extreme. What we need to do is balance that. And so when narcissist energy came into creation, it needed a counterpart because we live in a dualistic society. So within duality, if you're going to have one person who's narcissistic, you need to have a counterbalance, and that is somebody who's empathic. And that empath would negate self for the other. And so that there's a paradigm of control of one in superpower and one in no power, but neither of these was in a position of balance, and neither of these was in a position of health, because what you want is to have, balanced. I can have a healthy sense of ego, a healthy sense of need for taking care of self, and I can also think about others. And when this energy at this chakra right here, which has been going like this for a while, as we've been in a society that's like control and dominate, and colonialism, and all the other things of, I'm going to come into your country and take this, and my ways are better than your ways, and you're wrong, and let's fight about this. All of this has been happening in the solar plexus consciousness. So the energetic frequency that goes and exists here, and what's happening through this mass awakening that we're undergoing right now, is this is cracking open, because this is coming back into balance as people have done lots of the healing work, and it's opening ourselves up for the energy to come up into the heart center, blast the heart center open. And so Divine has sent down a whole bunch of twin flames to assist us in this and speed this process along, and say, humanity is not getting this point as fast enough. Let's get some starseeds down there, and some twin flames and some light workers, so that this heart center can be blasted open, so that we can lead the path and lead the way into a more heart-centric approach, in which we're loving anyone and everyone without condition. So condition means I don't care how you show up. You can show up in any energy that you want to show up. I'm able to love myself enough to not accept if you're going to be violent or mean or cruel in any way, shape, or form. But that doesn't negate my ability to offer you love and compassion. And I'm sorry that you're suffering, and I'm sorry that the situation has happened to you. And I can love you, and I can love the world, and I can love myself in harmony and in balance. I don't need to be in an energy of always, I just need to protect myself and guard myself, put everything in front of my heart chakra and protect myself from these types of energies, because I can become empowered. I can use this power that has existed here, that I have put into balance, and use it to be in an energy of open-handedness. I can give you without demanding that you give something back to me. Well, what am I getting out of it? Well, I want something out of it. If you're in that energy, then you've got some more recovery work to do, and to ask yourself, well, why do I need something from this person? Can I not provide myself with this, or can I not get it from somebody else? Because we cultivate the energies from within. So the energy that we need to cultivate most importantly is love, 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 love. And they've been singing songs about it, writing sonnets about it, writing plays about it. It's written in every spiritual text out there that the key to everything is love. And that means loving self first. You have to fill that cup first. Otherwise, it's self-abuse. If you're negating self for somebody else's needs that's hurting you and harming you in any way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, anything, then you are negating self. So I'm going to that's a lot of talking. I'm glad I brought some water over. Next, we're going to hop on into the animal kingdom and see what the animals have to say to us. And I got some, if you would smash it, helps the channel. Thanks. Well, I'm going to try to smash it. Okay. These cards are particularly huge. One animal. Ow. Oh, this is interesting to me because somebody was talking to me about elephants this morning. So talk about nice synchronicities. They were saying how they had been recently reading an article, and elephants are particularly astute to understanding the vibrational frequency of the ground, of the earth beneath us. And a whole bunch of elephants were making their way up to higher ground. So that was the messages that were coming in, was that the animal kingdom themselves is more vibrationally frequently aware that there's shifts happening. And so their behavior is changing, and it's becoming noticeable to the keepers and their carers of like, okay, why are all of a sudden this giant amount of elephants moving their way along and going higher ground? So what is it that normally happens when you go higher ground? That's a message that perhaps there is some shaky foundation happening. We're moving away from stuff that could be detrimental to us. Fault lines could be causing some energetic disruptions. Otherwise, we tend to get away to higher ground when waters are coming in. And what do waters represent? Waters represent our emotional realm. And our emotional realm is all about that sacral zone. I did a video on this that was a kind of humorous video. It's in the chakra playlist. Feel free to check that one out, on the sacral chakra. And I used balloons as an example of to describe what happens into this area when we don't express all those emotions. So I want to talk a lot. I love talking about emotions. It's one of my favorite subjects. I hope that, you know, if they put on a tombstone, please don't put me in the ground. Actually, don't do that. But if you're writing up something upon my passing, you're going to say that bee, she taught me that I was allowed to feel all of my emotions. She said that emotions are A-OK. And I want to talk about that because there is a war currently on emotions. And that war needs to stop, because we have too long been in this energy down here of look at what's beautiful. Look at my reflection of what's beautiful. Look at my Instagram pose. Don't I look beautiful? We've been in this energy for far too long of what is desirable, what is beautiful, what is false positivity, what is bliss, what is joy, and let's repress and ignore all those undesirable emotions. And society shakes its hand and says things like boys don't cry, or women shouldn't get angry because they look like bitches, or men shouldn't cry because they look like sissies, or all these stereotypes that are put, this war against emotions to keep these emotions repressed. And then let's go and create a whole bunch of disorders, and we'll tell people that they're disordered when they're actually having a normal human emotional response to a terrible situation. How about that? How about the reason why you're pissed off, or the reason why you're crying, or the reason why you're upset is because you've been disrespected, or you've been hurt, or you've been angry. Maybe you're not disordered and you're perfectly ordered, and the situation that you're in is all kinds of effed up. And we need to stop saying that you need to repress all of that and be within this realm of what is deemed socially acceptable behavior, and get back to what is natural. There's no different than saying to somebody, you are only allowed to urinate twice today. That's it. I'm sorry. Any other urination is not acceptable today. That's it. You'd get cystitis, you'd get sick, it would cause huge problems to your body. But that's exactly what we're saying when it comes to emotions, that we're saying your only acceptable emotions are the top tier emotions, and any lower vibrational frequency emotions are not acceptable. Well, they have to be acceptable because they're part of your function. It's part of your system. It's part of how we process emotions. And in this spiritual awakening journey, all of those things, all of those emotions that you have said, no, I don't want to deal with any of you because they're undesirable, are going to surface. They're going to surface. And so you're going to need to get to higher ground, because this is what the enlightenment is we are getting ourselves to higher ground through the process of expressing the emotions, allowing the emotions purging the emotions, allowing the tears, the grief, the fear, the anger, the angst, the rage, the anguish, all of those types of emotions that people don't want to talk about. Shh, let's not talk about those. Talk about them. Talk about them. Express them. Journal about them if that's all that you have access to. If you don't have access to somebody else that you can turn to, find ways to process the emotions that are healthy expressions of these emotions. Rage is not a bad emotion. Rage is saying to you, something is seriously wrong. Get that out. That's what rage is saying. Rage is saying, I don't deserve this. And that's an incredibly powerful emotion, far superior than being in depressed and despondency, that you've pushed down the rage so far into you that you're just in apathy. Apathy is like, I give up. But rage is like, I don't give up. I am fighting for me. I am a warrior. I'm not going to take this type of abuse anymore. You can't talk to me like that. I am not your whipping boy. I am not going to spend my life walking on eggshells because you have not dealt with your own stuff and not done your own recovery. I'm out of here. I'm going to higher ground, like the elephants. And the elephants are bringing forth great luck. The card of the elephant also talks about resoluteness. So resoluteness is that absolute, I am going to be true to me. I am going to be authentically me. And authenticity is a very high vibration, even higher than love. They've done studies on this. And when somebody is resonating at an energy of authenticity in that vibration, it pours out. And not only does it pour out from you in making you feel healthier, safer, secure, it allows everyone around you to be in that same energy as well. It's like a permission slip. It's like going and handing out a slip saying, hey, you can be weird too. Hey, you can be, disordered too. You can be emotional. You can be angry. I can hold space for you while you're angry, and I'm not going to judge you for it. It's a permission slip that you're handing out to the entire world that says, I'm not going to conform myself to this little matrix rat race and I have to go this way. No, I'm going to go an alternative way, and my way is up the hill to higher ground. So I love the fact that I got that message this morning from a friend talking about higher ground and the elephants. That is really cool. I love those synchronicities. So let's move into the flower kingdom next. I don't know how to do that. Don't forget to share this video on your social media so people can come and join us. For the life of me, I don't know how to do that. As I said, this is my first live. If you know how to do that, you can send me a message. Tell me how I'm supposed to do that. All I knew was I watched a small video that said, this is how you do a YouTube video. And then on social media, I said, I'm doing an impromptu video at 3:00. So maybe what I'll do is I'll try to do a standard time every Sunday. We'll say Sunday is live video, oracle read time, and then people will know. And it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. Oh, we've got foxglove. I love this one. And I love this. I have this in my garden, actually. I'm not much of a gardener either. That's a learning curve for me as well. I've made many mistakes with gardening. Oh, well, it's fun. It's not like anybody's coming around and judging my garden or anything. And if they are, then they can go over there with their judgment because I don't care. Foxglove. So that's what that plant looks like. Usually it's pink or sometimes it's white. And the card up for foxglove is confidence. Be what you want to see. I love it. So we've got pink energy coming in here, which is more of that heart chakra, that more unconditional love that we want to show up as. So if you want love, show up in love. If you want kindness, show up in kindness. If you want, what is it that you want? What is it you want from others? And ask yourself, well, how can I be more like that for other people? And when you're more like that for other people, then you're going to reciprocate that energy. And you're also going to have the confidence to be able to notice when you're not being reciprocated that energy, and if it works for you or it doesn't work for you. So if you're showing up in confidence of self and that authenticity that I talked about, and you're giving out unconditional love, you also have the capacity to have boundaries set up. So if somebody's, I like to look at it as two people coming together on a bridge, and they're supposed to meet in the center of the bridge. And at the center of the bridge, they're like, well, I have this and you have that. Okay, great. We're equal. But if one person's only walking 2 feet on the bridge and you're walking all the bridge, that's not reciprocal energy. And so you need to have the confidence and the self-love to walk yourself back to that midpoint in the bridge and say, can you meet me here? Can you meet me here? And they'll go, but you were all the way over here. Why do I need to walk all the way up there to meet you? Yeah, but you used to people please. But you used to give me all this other stuff, and now you're having all these expectations of me. And you stay exactly where you're standing in your confidence, in your authenticity, and say, but can you meet me here? And then they're like, no, I don't think so. Because people can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. So this person here needs to go and do some of their recovery work, and you can wish them well in a sense of prayer and say, good luck to you on that. I'm going to see you on your way, but I'm not going to walk all the way to the other side of the bridge because you lack the capacity to meet me at that halfway point. You need to be able to recognize what are your where are your deal breakers, and are you going too far into that solar plexus area? Are you going too far into people pleasing, into fawning energy, into giving up, so you're out of alignment? Or are you on the opposite end of your way to, it's all about me, and I'm not meeting you anywhere because I'm going to stand here and you're going to come all the way to me, and hello. If you've got some narcissistic traits happening, now's the time to do a lot of shadow work. And so there's some great books out there to assist you with some of that shadow work to bring you back into balance, because that me is ultimately going to leave you really isolated and alone standing on the other end of the bridge, because ultimately people are going to walk and they'll spend a little bit of time with you, and then they'll be like, yeah, I'm going back to the center point of the bridge eventually. Can you meet me here? No? Okay. Adios, amigos. Like, it's not your job to completely and utterly negate self for other people. We need to be in our confidence and our self-love. Next up, I'm going to hop into the Twin Flame Oracle deck. I love this one because the cards are perfectly square to be able to match my hands. And we've got some good comments here. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, you guys are amazing. People get so confused when we begin to change. Oh my gosh, yes. Definitely when you begin to walk back to that middle point on the bridge, there will be resistance. A lot of resistance. And that's why on the spiritual journey, walking away from family for a period of time, it doesn't mean forever, but for a period of time, and going within that cocoon and isolation may be absolutely necessary for your health and your wellness, because they don't want you to change. You've been catering to them for a number of years. Why would they want you to change? So when you begin to change, whoa, no, thank you. No, thank you. Resistance, arguments, frustration, and eventually that is their own undoing, because in trying to pull you back and trying to pull you down while you're making your way and walking yourself up into ascension, and in the process, be prepared for there to be kickbacks. Absolutely. And that's where that confidence comes in to say, I'm not accepting that. Oops, there we go. I'm not accepting that. Yes. I'm liking these comments. This is awesome. This is so cool. Okay, we have the card of transformation, 4-4. And look, okay, so we've got a big heart here, and we've got the triangle. I've talked about the triangle as a sacred geometry pattern of the connection to divine source. So that's very much connecting into mind energy, the two aspects of mind. And it even says the battle of the head versus the heart. Lots of green energy coming up. We also have some gold energy. So a lot of this read today is really solar plexus and heart center type of energies that are coming through. And now we have bringing into the question of the mind. Because even your own mind, talking about how there will be resistance and people won't like, even your own mind won't like it. You might be in battles with yourself as your heart goes, oh, I want to express myself. I want to be in my truth. I want to initiate all my gifts that I had been given to me as a child. I want to be free. I want to fly. I want to soar. I want my purpose. I want meaning in life. And then your mind's going, what do you mean? No. That has a very good benefits package, that job. Stop doing that. Or that partner, well, they're nice 49% of the time, and they provide a good paycheck. Is that a good reason to stay in a situation, a good paycheck, or they provide 48% of the time something? No. And listen, I'm not one to judge, because I was trapped in that type of a relationship for a very long period of time, where there was a disconnect and complete disassociation between mind and heart. My heart was screaming at me at its top lungs, run for your life. And my mind was, shh, 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 shh. We'll fix it. We'll get it better. We'll make it work. We'll this, we'll that. We'll negotiate. We'll try a little bit harder. I'm sure we can fix it. So mind may not always be in your best interest. Keep that in mind. That sometimes your mind is trying to keep you encased within that comfort zone, and within that comfort zone is not where your heart wants to be. Your heart wants to lead you out to be free, to express, to be authentically you. And so learning to balance these two, which it really is a practice of mindfulness and telling your mind to trust. This is leading me to where I am meant to be, even if you don't see all of the steps in front of you. And that's terrifying, because you're like, but I want to get there. I want to get to this. I want to get to this nice green side over here. Oops, it's over this side. I want to get there, but I don't see, where's the path? I don't see it. My heart is pulling me in a certain direction, but my mind is pulling you backwards. So if you're in an energy of disconnection within self, meditation, prayer, aligned walking, getting into some yoga, doing journaling, doing any type of healing work is going to help you realign and get that heart back into center. And very simple technique you can do right here, right now, is placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your head. And just breathing, because then you're bringing into resonance the same vibrational frequency. You're connecting the two. So just sit like that for 5 minutes a day. You have 5 minutes that you could sit like that. Nobody needs to watch you. And it's not like you need to do like powerful like games or anything. I could never do those as a kid, one way or another. Just sit and enjoy that. So before I go, I'm going to pick one from the Bitch Slaps the Oracle deck, because I like this deck. It's fun, because that's what it feels like to me. I have always felt like my spirit guides are like the directors of that game, that TV show. I can't even remember the name of it now. Jackass. That's it. My angels are the directors of that TV show, Jackass, and I'm the jackass. And they like to play practical jokes with me. And I can often hear them laughing at me when I finally get a lesson, when I finally get an aha moment. And I'm like, okay, I got it. And I can just hear them all up there laughing in hysterics, because to me, it was, oh my God, this is the most painful thing I've ever been through in my life. And then you get the aha and you're like, okay, I understand. That's why I had to experience that. Because if I didn't experience that, then I wouldn't be able to have this. For example, if I didn't experience this pain, then I wouldn't have this compassion for other people that have experienced the same degree of pain. I get it. And then they're like, hee. Yeah. Okay, our last card up, and maybe I'll do, if anybody has any questions, I'll do a couple of questions if some people have some questions. So, shine your fucking magic brighter than a unicorn's ass. That's all the universe wants from you anyways, is fucking magic. So we are magical, creative beings. And the more magical we become, the more in our authenticity, the more balanced we become, the more self-loving we become, the more truth and authentic in the way we show up in the world. That's what the universe wants from you. The universe doesn't need you to like make a certain amount of money in a year and have this much in your savings account and this size of a house and these many doctorates on your wall. And that's not what the universe is interested in. The universe is interested in you expressing itself through you. You are an expression of the universe. So it wants you to be you to the nth degree is what the universe wants. The universe doesn't want you to be like everybody else. The universe needs you to be you because that was your mission. Very specifically. And that one has come up many times in the last week in many of the little reels that I've been doing is all about being you, being true to you, who you actually are, because that's your job. That's it. That's the one job, that the most important job that you're here to do is to be you. Because when you are truly you, the universe is being able to express itself through you. It's knowing itself through you. So yes, I like that one. Be fucking magic. That's exactly what it's all about. So to just do a quick recap, we're going to get in touch with the lost aspects of ourselves. We're going to extricate ourselves from enmeshed situations and learn interdependence as opposed to codependence. We're going to take those lemons that life keeps throwing at us and make some lemonade and wait out the void in the in-between place between that matrix type of living in this new world kind of creation. We're going to recover. We're going to take the time that we need. And within our recovery, we're going to absorb all the keys that we need to open the doorways that we want to get to of the unknown places that are awaiting for us, that are full of unconditional love. And that unconditional love starts from within and then moves its way out into the world. We're going to go to higher ground, and we're not going to accept the stuff that we were used to accept and tolerate, because we're going to stand in our confidence and understand that our truth has to balance our own hearts and our own minds so that we can shine like fucking magic. And there's our read today. So if anybody has any questions before we go, shoot them out to me, and we'll do just a quick little question period. I'll wait and see if anyone questions. Yes, no questions. Okay. No questions today. So I hope you guys enjoyed my first. Give me a minute. Okay, she's coming. A couple of announcements. The breathwork group that I have started. It seems to be a little bit challenging to get people into the group. First step, you need to go into the Spiritual Warriors support group. The way to do that is in the description below. And once you're there, you find up top somewhere it says chats. And in there will be a chat, and that's where you can go and chat about your experiences that you have through the breath work. So I have pinned at the top of the group all the breath works that I will be doing over the next week. They are 8:00 at night, Eastern Standard Time. Each night is a different breath work. I have vetted them all, so there's no commercials that interrupt them, and each one is slightly different. And so just before the breath work starts at 7:30, you can come to the chat and go, hey, I have a question about this. I'll be there. And then the breath work will go from 8 until 9. And how you do that is you just go to YouTube at home and use the link that I've provided for that breath work. It's not like we'll be all breathing at the same time and listening to it at the exact same time. You know, one person might start a minute off. This is the only way that I can do it all free and easy, you know, without trying to do it through a channel and hiring breathwork practitioners. So once you finish your work at home, which you've done lying comfortably in your own room, on a yoga mat, in your bedroom, wherever you can do it that's comfortable for you. If anything comes up, I'll be there for you at 9 o'clock. And then on the weekends, it's earlier. I believe it's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be there at 2 o'clock, I guess, then on the weekends, if anything comes up and you're struggling with some of the emotions. For example, today, the breathwork that I did, lots of tears came out. It was all kind of focused on the head, and it was a great release to me. So sometimes, but at this stage of the game, I'm very comfortable with my emotions. I don't worry about crying anymore. I'm not scared of them. I used to be terrified of them. So, but if stuff comes up and you're having, you know, because it can elicit emotional flashbacks, it can elicit huge transformational change. I have used talk about recovery. I have used breath work now for a while. And listen, in comparison to 30 years of counseling, to a couple of weeks of doing breath work, the transformation that will happen in your life is going to blow your mind. You want real lasting change to get you out of your situation and to heal some of that trauma that you have experienced in your life. I am telling you, there is nothing more powerful than getting yourself into physical alignment, utilizing the ABLE program that I have created for you, as well as breath work as a modality. There is nothing more powerful. Seriously, it's mind-blowing. Any advice for the twin flame journey? That's my ginormous question. Yes, my advice is to you is to learn to love yourself, as Archangel Samuel says. So I want to give you a little bit of a meditation or visualization that I used on my journey. So after you had your heart activation and your heart is like, the feelings that you feel towards your counterpart are astronomical. Like that, it's nothing you've ever experienced before. There's a reason for that, and the reason for that is so that it can open yourself up to have unconditional love. That's the point of heart activation. And you are to love somebody that is not meeting you halfway on the bridge on purpose. That's not their job. Their job is not to meet you at the halfway on the bridge point. Their job is to leave the bridge and go to another park, because when you're left standing on the bridge, you're left with all of your emotions. And so the purpose of this is to help you deal with all of your reactions to that isolation, to that triggering, to everything that you're experiencing. So the whole point, if you want to picture it this way, is your twin is off in the distance holding up a mirror in front of them. So you don't get to see them. All you get to see is you. And they're holding up a mirror. And every time you're having a feeling or a reaction, that needs to come back to self. That needs to come back to understanding, why am I reacting like this? Why am I feeling like this? What is this bringing up to me? What is this showing to me? So when I was out doing aligned walking one day, and trying to like figure out and navigate through the confusion, the upset, the loss, the grief, everything else that I was experiencing, I visualized a plumbing system. So I'm going to share with you just a nice little visualization tool that I used, in which I had this massive amount of love pouring out of me towards him. Flooding, just a constant flow. And so in my mind's eye, I built myself a plumbing system. And I took this energy that was coming out of my heart center, and I created pipes. And those pipes I built like a shower. You may remember, like as you were kids, there were sometimes sprinkler systems that you could buy that would go up and you'd run under them. It was like a mushroom or something like that. And so I built this plumbing system to come out of my chest and flow and shower down upon my head. And the thing with the shower is when it showers down upon your head, not only is it completely encasing me in my love, anyone that's around me is going to get my love too. So the twin flame journey is the quest of opening that heart center so you have and can show up in the world in an energy of unconditional love. So even though there is a desire of a certain kind of partnership, a certain kind of romance, that's not what the point of this is. The point of this is your recovery. The point of this is that they're over there holding up a mirror to trigger all the stuff in you to release, so that you can get to that higher ground, that place of enlightenment. And while you're on the journey, and the journey is a long journey. It's not like an overnight thing. It's not going to take a month, and any twin flame coaches or gurus or anybody else that asking money from you, please don't give them money. And don't give anybody who's saying, I'll do a reading for you and I'm going to tell you whether you're your twin flame and I'll let you know when they're coming back to you. They don't know. Nobody knows but you, because it's you. It's your soul's journey. So there isn't another human being on the planet that can tell you or manifest for you or create the answers for you. The answers are all within you. So take that love that's been build yourself a nice little shower system in your mind's eye, do meditation maybe after this program, and visualize yourself streaming down with all the love, and that anyone that comes near to you, you just need to show up in the world and love is just flowing out in every direction, willy-nilly. I don't need people to like reciprocate. I can just stand here and throw out love. Just throw out lots of love. So the point to me of the twin flame journey is to help assist us in moving us out of this type of energy into a heart-centric energy for the consciousness of humanity, to shift humanity, because as each twin gets shifted into this energy, it assists others around us just by being around us. You don't need to lecture them or tell them or try to adjust their behaviors. They'll either be drawn into that energy of, I want some of whatever's raining out of the top of your head, or they'll be like, I don't want whatever you've got there. So, and you're like, come, go, do what you need to do. I'm just going to be here in my shower of love. I hope that answered that question, because it's the twin flame journey is a massive, massive thing. Will I travel soon? Well, if you want to. I can't answer that question for you, because spirit, again, with the twin flame journey, as well as what's happening in these spiritual awakenings, is your soul has a contract. So your soul's contract, I talked about that time of isolation, that being inside the cocoon. So your soul sometimes basically puts a staple into your foot and says, you're not going anywhere. And you're like, but I really want to go somewhere. Listen, I'd really like to go on a holiday myself. I would love to go to Costa Rica. I would love to go here, there, and everywhere. And soul's like, no, you're under the thumb. I need you to stay put. I need you to wait. I need you to not go anywhere. And you will get the green card to go when God has decided, or your spiritual contract has decided, oh, now is my time to go here. So you'll notice a lot of people, there is a lot of shifting energy right now. A lot of people are moving, which is why the real estate market is like going up because people are up and moving, and they're not just moving down the street, they're moving cross country. They're getting rid of houses. They're living in vans. I have a lot of connections of people that have now just completely become quite nomadic in nature. And that's dependent on, there is no, even though there's a collective of us, each individual person's soul contract will have them be in that state of isolation and in that void. So if you're in the void and you're not going anywhere and you're wanting to go somewhere, my advice to you is just wait it out as peacefully as gently as process, and just say, you know, when God wants me to go, I'm ready to go. And that everything will get lined up for you. But if you're fighting it, everything's going to not get lined up for you. Everything's going to get broken down, and you'll be like tower moment after tower moment, or broken van part after broken van part. So I know that. So you'll go where you need to go when you need to go there. Oh, good. We had somebody do the breath work for the first time today and enjoyed it. That's fantastic. And any other questions before I sign off? And I've had so much fun. This has actually been like way fun. So here, see, soul's pushing me into doing those long hidden gifts that I've been too scared to do because I was enmeshed with fear. So now here I'm already leading by example and saying, I'm going to just be a fucking unicorn. Ha! I am the unicorn. Ha! That's why I haven't seen any unicorns. Okay, well, thank you guys for logging on and joining me. This was a blast, and I will do it next Sunday as well. I will give you some more forewarnings of when that time period is, but I think Sundays works best so that people from Europe and stuff have a chance to observe as well. So with that said, I hope everybody has a super awesome day, and peace out, dudes.